welcome back to our change interview series where we talk about changes that people have made in their life, big changes or have faced in their lives. And today my guest is the actor David Burnell IV. Welcome, David.
Hello. Thank you for having me again.
This is a very special episode because it's our first ever English-only episode in this series.
And I'm the first one.
David, we have something in common. We are almost the same age, and we have both made a big career change, so to speak, in midlife. And for you, it was that you decided to become an actor, and you have started acting just a couple of years ago, and you are already very successful. 2 years ago, you joined the project Gunpowder Milkshake, an action thriller that has just come out this month, December 2021, in Germany, in the cinemas now. And you're starring there in a goon team under the leadership of Ivan Kaye, who has played King Aelle in Vikings, and you're playing opposite Karen Gillan, who is known for big Hollywood film franchises. So you have made a really fast start in the business, in the industry. Got up, I mean, there are people who are hanging around for years, only getting background jobs and no lines, and landing on the cutting floor for years and years. And you are already in one of the big things of this year and very visible. That's a really successful career in the early stages already. And I wanted to know, first of all, what did you do before that, and how did you come to decide to become an actor?
I think acting came to me because I was in the military, and the longer I stayed in the military, so I was in the U.S. Marine Corps, United States Marine Corps, for 11 years as a communications officer, or communications specialist, or whatever you want to call it. And the longer I stayed in the military, I felt like a compression. I felt so in the box, and then I continued to want to express myself more and do more things, but it just seems the higher I got, the more compressed I got. So it was like a lobster, the lobster is getting compressed, and it's like it's time to change this shell. I got to get out of this shell. I'm growing. So I bust out of that shell, and I just think that I was always trying to express myself and be an entrepreneur and push a certain brand. I had a brand out. And so that kind of led into me getting an agent in California and then booking a commercial. And then from there, I started doing short films and building a reel, and then, doing a lot of free films for students. I mean, I still do student films even today. And then that led to coming over here to Berlin and getting a bigger agent. Shout out to Crawford Talents. And then, I mean, this was like one of the first big auditions that she sent my way. And she was just starting out too, I think in 2016. So, I mean, I got out of the military, came over here, hooked up with Crawford Talents, and then she sent Gunpowder Milkshake. And it was like, I didn't even know what a Gunpowder Milkshake, Karen Gillan, I didn't know none of that stuff. And I started looking, and I was like, oh my God, this is huge. Yeah. Shout out to Navat, Papa Shadow. But that was kind of like my story. I mean, it kind of just came to me it kind of just came to me to answer your question as far as what to do. I listened. I think a lot of people don't listen. It comes to you, and some people are just scared, like, oh no, I can never do that. Stay in the military for another 11 years. That's what I'll do. And then you wake up at 65 and say, oops.
I wish I had. Yeah, I would like to dive a little bit deeper into that. If I understood that correctly, you could have stayed in the military, but you decided to get out of it yourself because of this feeling of being compressed and not being able to express yourself as you wanted to.
That was the plan. That was the solid plan. You don't do 11 years in the military and get out halfway. You do 20 years, get your retirement check like everybody else, and you have a solid check and income coming in. It's the safest way, so you don't do what I did. So it was definitely a conscious decision, and me saying, no, hell no, I'm gonna take this 11 years and put it all into me and invest all into me, and whatever comes with it comes with it. But I don't have to look back and say, oh man, I should have done that. I could have been in Gunpowder Milkshake, and I could have done this, and coulda, woulda, shoulda. But I gotta tell you and everyone, it's a lonely journey. Like, nobody cares. Like, when I got out, nobody cared. Nobody cared. Oh yeah, you're gonna go to the movies. Okay, yeah, good, great, yeah, sure. You're gonna be an actor. God, you can do it. But they don't care. They don't, because it's all about self-reflection, and a lot of them, it's what they see themselves. Advice always comes from the inner piece, the inner part of yourself. Anytime anybody gives advice, like I'm giving now, it's coming from me, the self-reflection.
But the thing is, I call it the inner compass. And it's actually the thing I'm trying to get out to people, that my service is about connecting people back with their inner compass, with their intuition, with their inner wisdom, to find their way and to be also deeply convinced of which way to go in life, irrespective of what other people are telling them, because that's always one of the challenges. So you went out of the military, and that was an uncomfortable decision, because you could have had it more comfortable, more secure financially if you had stayed, but you were convinced that it wasn't the right thing for you to stay, right? That's you listen to that inner compass you have, your inner wisdom.
Yeah. And yeah. I could tell you, even there was even layers after that. I mean, I got a job at Airbus when I got out. That was a comfortable route, but still I felt compressed. I thought that getting out of the military and then getting a huge job at Airbus, oh, you're set. But I still was compressed. So that was even a second layer that just told me, no, I got to get out. I have to. For me, it was just something that I had to do for myself. And I was just convinced that I can't be working for people.
Okay, so you went out of the military, then you applied for a job, you got a good job, and you found out that that's not the thing either. So you didn't really go out with, I have a plan to go this direction and do that, but you went out because you knew that isn't the thing, but you still had to figure out what your thing is, right?
Yeah.
After getting out. So that's a very courageous decision also. I think what really blocks many people and scares many people, especially in midlife, when you are over 30, 35 and are thinking about making a change because you are not happy where you are, is the question of how to make a living. So basically, did you have concerns about that? How to survive? Do you still get any payments you said you don't get the usual retirement payment from the military. Do you get anything from there, or how did you approach that?
Well, I always had this huge savings. Like I don't know, my father just kept telling me to save, and so I mean, and even to this day, I was just like when I would say 15, I was just putting away money. And I was like, man, this is dumb. Like, because I didn't need the money, and I didn't need to spend. And when I wanted it, he wouldn't let me use it. He was just, no, that's your saving. That's your saving. So I think that in combination with when I was in the military, I didn't see any need to spend money. Like everything is paid for. So, I mean, 11 years in the military, go figure. 11 years in the military, putting away uh, a lot of money adds up. And then I do get some type of aid, some type of check from the military for disability and stuff. So with the combination of that, I wasn't really. I always said, I'm not gonna live off of that money. That's not the money that I want to live off of. So I guess for me, it was a little bit, it was easier to kind of jump off the ledge because I knew if anything, if nothing came in, I could at least eat a hamburger or something. So yeah, like I said, this comes from a place of self-reflection. So there may be other people out there that just doesn't have, the means at all. And I applaud them too. I mean, I know a lot of people that come from that type of background to where if they don't book a job or if they're not working for 6 months, they'll be living under the tunnel. So that wasn't my case. I mean, I got family, and like I said, I've been fairly successful, and just kind of lucky to be in the military and getting through for 11 years. Because another benefit I got was the school. The school paid for a lot of funds and stuff. So I mean, I just been out of school since 2019. So literally 2020 and 21, I'm literally on my own fully with acting money and fitness. I do fitness too. You got to spread yourself out there. I still do fitness. So I don't know. I've always found a way. I'm gonna find a way to eat. I'm gonna find a way.
You give courses, but I think that's an important thing. I mean, I went that route too. I saved a lot of money because I always had those time limited jobs, so there was no security at all for more than 3 years at top. And so and there always are gaps in between, so I was always saving like crazy because I knew there will be a gap and you never know if there's anything else coming up. There was no security on the other side either, so for me it was an easier decision because I just played insecurity against insecurity. So but my experience in the past years, and something I'm always trying to work with and to convince myself of that it's going on that way, was that when you had I've often had no idea where money would come from, no idea at all, because there were just I come from academia, and it's really a field where there just aren't many jobs. So I often had the situation where I did not know where money could come from, where the next job could come from, if there would be a next job before I would run out of money. And so that what happened was that every time I was in that kind of situation, before I got to a point where it was getting really problematic, something came along. Someone, and that was mainly because I had a little bit of a network, and I didn't do networking in the sense of I need to build a network, and I had to strategically find people and so. I just liked going to have a coffee with someone and to talk to someone, and I was just talking to people I like talking to, and enjoyed that. And some of those people then came up with, oh, there's a job here that could fit you and you should apply here, or hey, we have something coming for half a year or something, would you like to do that, things like that. So it somehow came then. How is your experience with that? Because you said that acting came to you through other things.
Yeah, networking is definitely a big key. With Corona and stuff now, I find myself doing a lot of email as an actor. Well, you say I'm more successful than I was before, but I would say that I haven't made it yet. I got a good movie, but I spend a lot of my time emailing, casting directors, or not casting directors, but like agents, and finding projects. And yeah, I'm just being proactive. You have to get yourself out there, whether it's electronically or physically, coffee, like you said, or so. You have to get out. You have to interact.
I think it's actually easier for people like, I'm actually an introvert, and online is really great for me. I don't know how you feel about that, but connecting online is much easier for me than going up to someone physically and saying, hey, hello, let's talk or something. So what I wanted to ask you is, did you ever ask yourself, if I stay here where I am now, be it in the military or be it in the next job that you then left to, if I stay here, is there anything I'm going to regret when I'm lying on my deathbed? I call it the deathbed test. You imagine you're going to die in like 10 minutes. So there's no time left to do or experience anything. And you imagine that, and you look back and you think, is there anything, if I go on this road, is there anything I would regret not even having tried? Did you ever think about that?
We have this saying in the military that when you get back from deployment, so when we get back from Iraq or Afghanistan, that's like a 6-month deployment in war, in combat. And when you get back, they say that something changes you and you're so full of life, and you meet, back then it was about women. So it's like, oh, and you're going to meet all kinds of women. I don't know what it is, but I realize it's the perspective that you have, that life is short. And so when we get back, we literally get back with the perspective of, I'm not going to be, from what we experience, you want to live up as much as you can. So when you go back to Iraq or Afghanistan, you don't have regrets. And those are those little mini tests. So to answer your question, we had different perspectives on, will I regret this or not? It was more like, before I go back to jail, because it's like jail. It's like, before I get locked up for 6 months or 12 months, I'm going to do as much as I can right now, And so.
Does that, the fact that you were in combat, really in dangerous regions where there was the possibility that you wouldn't come back, did that change your attitude to life in general?
Yes, definitely. I have buddies that didn't come back. And we sit right next to each other. And then you have, just imagine getting in a car accident or something, and it's like that out there, like, except it's not a car, it's a missile that just almost hit you, and then you're like, that was close. So It definitely makes you think different when you're here and you're safe and somebody says, let's go for a run. And you're like, no, I don't want that. Dude, you can't, we couldn't run in Baghdad, you know, because there were certain times where they were shooting bombs. So we were on restrictions. So when anybody tells me, hey, let's go for a run in Munich, Germany by the Isar, I'm like, no brainer. Let's do it. Let's live. Let's do it.
Is there anything, if you look back in time and you could go back in time and tell your 20-year-old self something, give your 20-year-old self an advice, what to do differently with what you know now? Is there anything you would tell yourself?
Oh, yes. Yes. And I would tell everybody, trust your intuition, trust yourself. You have the answers. Stop second guessing, stop letting people talk you out of things. Stop, because when people talk to you, they're talking about themselves. And I'm happy of where I'm at now, but I just feel like I knew the answer back then. So I should have started a long time ago. It was in my heart. It was in my intuition. Just trust yourself. People underestimate. I think I underestimated myself and I didn't trust my intuition enough. So that's what I would tell 20-year-old David. Like, you got the answer. You know it. Stop relying on other people.
Great, thank you. And guys, if you have any issues trusting yourself, come to me. I have a service to help you with that. Yeah, but yeah, it's pretty much an experience I've made myself. Yeah, it's really, and what I hear so many people say. So you had this great movie, and after this big hit, Gunpowder Milkshake, which of course it's a film that will have a sequel, we have heard. So it will have a bit of a longer life than a film, but it's one film, and you're an actor, so you are looking out for other opportunities, and you have things in the works, and so the interesting question now for all of us is, where are we going to see you next, and what are you up to?
Yes, thank you. So the next thing I got going is a musical short film that I am creating. Picture Kanye West Runaway. It's rap songs. It consists of 3 rap songs, which basically talk about uniting, like human unity, and everybody needs to get together. Let's live now and enjoy, what we have here. It's really not that bad, people. So that's the whole musical short film that I'm working on, and I'm storyboarding the videos now. And that's why I'm glad I'm talking to you, because I'll probably reach out to you to see what kind of connections you have to, get it funded, get it produced and everything. I'm going to use all my resources to get this message out. So that's number one, is the musical short film, my 3 rap songs.
Very cool. Hey, that's really cool, and
Yeah,
I think
it's
that's
happening.
last question, because you have a message in this musical video too, and we have talked about the mindset and your approach to life and all that. In all these developments in your life up to this point, have you done any conscious direct mindset work? Do you have any resources you would recommend, or techniques or things you have used, or is that just what came naturally to you?
I think it comes naturally to me. I think a lot of people would that are fitness people really agree, because fitness is a little bit more for me than just working out, like the muscles and stuff. And fitness is always has always been a part of me where I just zone out, where I'm thinking of the next move, where, I'm waking up during my run saying, everything's going to be all right. Whatever it is, fitness and running early in the morning or working out in the afternoon has always been my source of this mental mental balance and coping with whatever's going on, and it's just playing the music and moving the body. That has been my mindset, my mind balance. That answers your question.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There's also a connection, I think, to acting because it's a very physical thing. Would you say there's a connection between your love for the movement and fitness, and actually, I mean, in the military, you are also in a physical job, and the physicality of acting?
Well, I didn't know this, but it's science. The movement of body is life. When the body is moving, that's life. That's letting you know that you're alive. When you're interacting with the environment, that's what animals do. They eat grass and they interact with the environment. They're alive. And so I think I was experiencing that, and I didn't even know when I was in the military that that's what I was experiencing, that I can literally like move my body.
I think there's also a connection with mindfulness. I think there are movement types. I mean, there are movement meditators and sitting meditators. But I think this being alive, what you mentioned, that's basically being present. And being present is achieved through being grounded in your body, and you can do it through your physical senses. And I think there are types who do it through who prefer doing it through movement, and others who prefer doing it through stillness. But it's always being grounded in the body, and being in the moment has to do with that. Not being absorbed into thoughts and thought processes. So that's a difference. When you are present and in the now, you are not absorbed into your own thought processes. When you are thinking consciously, but most of it is about sensing your body and sensing the environment, as you said, with your body. That's actually how it's taught to train presence, is to look consciously, to listen consciously, to feel your body and things like that. It's just different styles, different types of approaching it, but it's always about the same thing, about experiencing life directly and being present there. And it's probably easier. Often for us, it's easier to be present when we are moving, because our focus is shifted into the body and the sensing of the body by that.
Well, that's very interesting. So you without any physical movements, you make people experience this just mentally, just by sitting down and moving the mind, or basically.
Yeah, it's sitting or lying down and relaxing the body, and we do that through experiencing the body. And people who want to test what type they are, they can test a sitting meditation, then self-hypnosis with a guided meditation. They can test running, working out, and then they can find out what is the best way for them. And I've heard someone say that it might be in our culture that it's actually easier to get into it through movement for many, especially when they are not guided by someone else. So yeah, thank you, David. Thank you very much. I think we could go on and on those subjects, but I think we can close that here.
I wanted to I wanted to get the 2 other projects that I'm doing.
Oh, you are doing more projects.
Just
Okay.
it's
I thought.
actually just one more project that I wanted, and I think it's really good for your guest as well to be on the show because it's what's coming, and it's called the NFTs. I know you heard about this. Everybody's heard about it. I'm working. I already have a website. I'm going to post my first NFT on on rariable.com. So an NFT is a non-fungible token. And it's this crazy thing. It's basically digital art. And digital art is now something that you can actually own, like a Mona Lisa. So the digital art comes with a stamp.
Oh, you're using the blockchain for your art? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so any Gunpowder Milkshake fans out there that are doing it, and if they do hit me up, I'll give them one of my tokens for free, and they're pretty expensive. So yeah, so if anybody's listening out there and any of your fans and they're doing NFTs, let them know they can get in touch with me. I'll send you some links. And the first one that hits me up, I'll probably give them the NFT for free. But then other than that, yeah, I have to charge. So this is a special for you and your show. First one to hit me up, they get the first NFT. So it's
Great.
pretty big.
Oh, great. We'll pop the link in the description,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I'll check that out too.
yeah.
And that's the second project, and the third project.
It's within the NFT realm. So I have the poster of me. Remember you said that was a cool picture of me holding the shocking thing? So and so that picture somebody turned it into an NFT. And so now it's like I'm moving with electricity and it has this, my eyes are glowing with electricity. It's this really cool MP4 loop back a video loop back. And so the different thing about this is it's gonna be my NFT. So whoever has it, it's gonna be initially just theirs. There won't be any other you can get it, but it won't have that significant timestamp. And I'll also send them a autographed picture of me if they buy the NFT. So I think this will work for you. Soon as you get on NFTs, I'll tell you how to get on there. Yeah, I might just send you one for free because you've been such a good fan.
Thank you. Just to clarify that for everyone, so because that it's using blockchain, it's basically a unique thing. So anyone who buys that this NFT will have a unique original that can't be faked. So that's something very precious. It's a
Yeah.
one-time item, so to speak, and that's
Yes.
what makes the value.
Well, what also makes the value is when I become super famous, that that NFT that you bought from me or that I gave you goes up in value, and you can actually resell it.
Yeah, so that means, guys, you can now jump on early on this superstar in the making and get a very, it's like an investment. You get a very stocks that are very affordable now, but will go up over time
As soon
and
as my big movies
explode.
come out, yep.
Yeah.
It is just imagine if you bought Denzel Washington's, I don't know, one of his early film pictures or something, signed by him, and then the only difference back then is I mean, you could resell it, but you wouldn't be able to retain the autograph. You had to resell it and physically give it away. But now you can resell that digital copy and still have an autographed picture by me, but you would resell the digital copy. So it's confusing. I'm still learning, but I'm working on the platform, and I think it's gonna be a new way to take all of, you know how we're always posting stuff and people are like, you can't post that, you can't post that, and all that. I think this is a way that we can actually engage with the fans without worrying about all these weird copyrights and all this. Hey, don't do that, don't post that and stuff, because it's from me to you, and it's my work.
Yeah, that's basically the important thing always, that you own the rights. That's why it's problematic for actors, as well as even more so for fan pages. But we are usually being tolerated because we do free promotion, but as long as we do it in a way they like it. And but for actors, the problem is that you sign a contract that basically forbids you to own your own creative work in any way, because you have been paid off for it, and so they can tell you what to do with it, or what not to do. So that's great, David. You are up to quite some cool things at the moment, and everyone who wants to check it out and take advantage of this opportunity to get something valuable for an affordable price before it explodes in value when you become the superstar that you are meant to be, then they can check that out. We will pop that in the description, the link. And thank you very much for the time you spent on this interview. It's been very interesting. I hope it's inspiring for many people to see how you have made this big change and prevailed, and did that by listening to your own inner wisdom, your intuition, your inner compass. Thank you very much, David.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me, and just thank you for sharing all your methods and stuff about mindset and mentality. And I wish you success also with your new venture. But we're going to do this again.
Thank you very much.